Hey guys, what's up and welcome back. And if you are new here, thank you so much for stopping by my channel. As most of you know, I did recently put up a poll on my Instagram. I asked everyone if they would rather see an empties video or my everyday makeup routine. And just by a hair, the current makeup routine won at 58%. It was a really close call all day, you guys. It kept toggling back and forth, but don't you worry, you will still get an empties video. I'll probably film that this weekend. So don't worry, you'll still get to see the empties video, but today you guys are gonna go ahead and see my everyday current makeup routine. And as you can see, it's just a really fresh, natural, neutral look. Nothing crazy, nothing fancy, but nonetheless, it's still a really pretty, fresh, natural look. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get started and cue the clips of my bare naked face. Okay guys, but starting with a bare naked face, the first thing I always do in my routine is start with a moisturizer, and the one I'm using today is just a small little deluxe size. This is the Glow Recipe Banana Souffle Moisture Cream. I've really been enjoying this because my skin does have a lot of red pigmentation to it, and this has been so calming on my skin, and I think that's why I've just been enjoying it just so much. And of course it smells amazing. It literally smells like a banana Laffy Taffy. My skin has been so sensitive lately as well. Any little touch on my face makes my skin so insanely red. And before we actually conceal all of this maskne, I have been getting insane breakouts. I'm just gonna go ahead and prime my skin. And if you don't already know, now you know, I've been obsessed with the e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer. Now that I've used this, I don't think I'm gonna use any other primer. And I can't remember if I've mentioned this in the past or not, but this just adds basically another layer of skin, or that's what it looks like to me. And I really enjoy this because it isn't so thick on my skin. Oh, I got it in my hair. It's not so thick on my skin like a lot of pore primers are. And now that we have our primer on, honestly, I've been loving to conceal before I put my foundation on. Usually I would put my concealer on after my foundation, but this is just a technique that I've just been loving lately, especially for covering up all these blemishes. Oh, and I'm using the CoverGirl True Blend Undercover Concealer. This has been a favorite of mine for quite a while, and if you're wondering, mine is in the shade Light Ivory. And a little does go a long way with this, so I literally just put the tiniest amount on my blemishes here. And I've been getting really red around my nose for some reason. I don't know why. Here we are. But I'm just gonna go ahead in with a little tiny damp blending sponge, and I'm just gonna go ahead and blend that in. And if you don't know, I always like to kind of topple over my eyelids with my concealer. And I also really like bringing up my concealer. Oh goodness, I cannot wait to cover up these blemishes, and just blending in the concealer over the blemishes. Easy peasy, make those little blemishes go away. On a good skin day, because we wear masks all the time, I would honestly just kind of leave it like that and not wear foundation and just finish the rest of my routine. But because my skin is acting like a nincompoop, we are gonna go in with a foundation, more of a full coverage foundation. And the foundation I've been loving lately is the Tarte Foundsealer. I do really enjoy this because it is full coverage, but it has such a natural finish. And the shade I have is light neutral. It is the shade 22N, and one pump, you guys, goes the entire way. I use this all the time, and honestly, I'm only like a fourth way into it because it literally only takes a little bit. This is probably one of my favorite full coverage foundations. And for this foundation, I'm actually just using the Tarte Foundsealer foundation brush. This is the best way I like to apply this foundation. However, I do sometimes, depending on the day, like to sheer it out with a beauty sponge. For today, we want max coverage. There's just something about putting the concealer on underneath the foundation that kind of just helps blend that all in together to give a more natural finish, because that's honestly my favorite look that I've been going for lately. I just love this foundation so much, and I will say, if you do not moisturize, even me, I have oily skin, if I do not moisturize, it will cling to any and all dry patches. I have learned that the hard way, but as long as you moisturize, this foundation. My earring literally just popped out of my ear. It's just one of those days. Okay, but now that we have our base on, I already have eyebrows on, but honestly, I'm just gonna go ahead and touch them up. And my Ride or Die eyebrow pencil is the e.l.f. Instant Lift Brow Pencil, and I always get mine in natural brown, but I think last time I picked up deep brown, which is a little deep for me, but here we are. I need to get my brows done so so badly. I'm honestly desperate at this point. And usually if I were to go in with a tinted moisturizer, I would have set my face, but I actually don't like setting this foundation. I love the natural dewy finish it actually has. So we're not gonna set the face. And we're just gonna go ahead and do a really, really natural, simple eye look today. It's just something that I've been loving. And I am going to be going ahead and using the Natasha Denona Peak palette that I actually recently just got in my BoxyCharm box. This is such a gorgeous, warm, neutral palette. And because I did put concealer on top of my eyelids, I'm actually just going in with this shade right here. And I'm just gonna go ahead and set the top of my eye because as you can see, I do have hooded eyes and my lids do crease immediately. So I do have to set that immediately so my eyeshadow goes on a little bit smoother. And then we are going to go in with a little bit more of a precise fluffy brush and we're gonna go into this shade right here. And I'm literally just putting this in the crease, but all over the crease, if you will. The shade honestly reminds me of like a neutral blush. And honestly, sometimes that's what I do as well. I take a blush or a bronzer and I kind of just pop that in the crease. But that's why I love this palette because it does have that shade that I tend to look for in more natural, neutral situations like this. And because I do have hooded eyes, I always bring my shade up a little bit higher than you normally would. Hooded eye problems, I know. And then honestly, I'm just gonna go in with my finger with this metallic shade right here and just dabble that all over the lid. This shade is so beautiful. I love a good champagne metallic shade. And Natasha Denona metallic shades are so pigmented and they just go on so beautifully and they melt into the lid like butter. So simple, literally 2 shades. Sometimes you can even just do the metallic shade or just do an all over blush on your lid, whatever you want. Just easy peasy, lemon squeezy. And I'm honestly just going in with mascara. If I'm being honest, I just finished up my favorite mascara. That was the Huda Beauty Legit Lashes. But runner up, we have the Lily Lashes, and this is their Triple X mascara. It's definitely not a dupe or replacement for that Huda Beauty mascara, but it's just my runner up at the moment just because it's handy and I have it. But I do like it. It does give me really, really nice length and volume. I feel like it does a really good job being precise and hitting every single eyelash on your eyelid. And I know, I normally don't put mascara on my bottom lid unless I'm going like full glam. I'm not doing that. I'm sticking neutral, so I'm actually not putting any mascara on my bottom lid. Lash line, I don't have a lid down there, but you know what I mean. But we are gonna go ahead and warm up the face, so we're gonna go ahead and bronze, and what I'm using is this Aesthetica Sunset Bronzer. It is pretty well loved. I always kind of go overboard with the bronzer just because I love a nice warm look. That's just what I like personally, but we're gonna really blend that out to make it look a little bit more neutral, natural if you will. And I'm just going to be going in with a blush right here. This is something I've been really liking lately. This is the Ciate London Marbled Light Halo Blush. And I love this because it is one of those like illuminating blushes, so I can kind of use that in lieu of a highlight as well and kind of put the blush more on the tops of my cheeks. So that's what we're going in for today. And this stuff is pretty pigmented, so you don't have to use that much unless you want that like more dense blush look, but this is just what I do every day. And of course, I gotta bring it over the nose because that's the look I love to create. I love that like all over glowy look. I've used this so much, guys, I literally broke the clasp to it so it doesn't click shut. But I guess that's how you know you love a product. But that is it, you guys. You can still see some of my freckles underneath, nothing too overboard. This is my everyday makeup routine. So if you guys like this video, go ahead and be sure to give it a big old thumbs up. And of course, if you want to see more, go ahead and subscribe below. And as always, guys, I'll see you next time.